That was in 2020. We bought our first mobile home community. And he and I scaled that to a portfolio of $120 million and 2,800 units. So it was a pretty aggressive scale-up process, which is why I'm a go-getter.
Welcome to the RAL Room Assisted Living Podcast with your hosts, Charlie Cameron and Alex Schlow. This is your go-to show for cutting-edge insights from industry leaders in residential assisted living.
Whether you're ready to launch your own assisted living business or looking to invest in this fast-growing, high-impact sector, we are here to equip you with the tools, strategies, and confidence you need to succeed. Get ready to ride the silver tsunami and change the future of senior care. Now on to today's show.
Welcome back to the RAL Room Assisted Living Podcast, the podcast that brings you expert insights from leaders in assisted living. I'm your host, Charlie Cameron, and today we're thrilled to have Jen Ullrich on the podcast, one of our very first members in the RAL Room, and she's already crushing it. Welcome, Jen.
Thanks for having me.
Jen has a very interesting background, a real estate investor background like myself. Maybe a little bit bigger real estate investor background, I would say, but maybe a lot bigger. But so this will be interesting for the listeners that start in real estate that want to get into care as well. So I want to back up and really understand your journey. Tell us how you got into assisted living and where you were right before that.
Yeah, so I'm in a women's mastermind, and our women's mastermind, we do a goal setting session. So I was physically with them in Florida last December. And some of the girls there were talking about assisted living. And it really had me thinking about this asset class. Back up to when I lived in New York, we put my grandmother in a nursing home. And it was really sad. They would sedate them, give them medication instead of using redirection techniques. It was one caregiver to 30 seniors. And I really felt guilty and terrible about leaving her in that situation. So it really left a mark on me. So when my girlfriends and I were having this conversation, I felt like it was time for me to disrupt this space. So that's how it originally started. And that was back in December of last year.
That's awesome. Okay, so then how did you join in February, right? The mastermind? Okay. How'd you find us?
Just so I started Googling, Facebook grouping, everything assisted living. And then I found your Facebook group and then learned that you had a mastermind. So that basically just by joining different Facebook groups, that's how I found you guys.
Okay. And for the listeners, from February to September, in that short time frame, you went from, hey, I have this idea. I'm going to start getting more into it and surround myself with a community of like-minded folks. And I'm going to purchase 32 beds and move to open my assisted living home. How on earth did all of that happen in that time frame?
I'm pretty much a go-getter. I'm in human design, what you call a manifesting generator. So I'm going to make it happen. So we actually got this property under contract at the end of May. So February to May. And it took 4 months for the SBA loan.
Wow. So 6 months from when you first got the idea to under contract. Roughly.
Yeah, I move pretty fast.
I see that. I love that. Okay. Before you got into assisted living, tell us a little bit about your experience before that and what you were doing before that.
So let's go back to 2015. I was living in New Jersey, working in Manhattan. I was working a W-2 job. I worked in corporate America and finally learned about like single family rental homes and real estate. I really started researching it in 2013. So did 2 years of research to finally buy my first single family house. That was 10 years ago. It's 2015.
Okay.
And then I graduated to another single family, a duplex, and then finally an 8-unit. So I bought my 8-unit in 2019. I had the opportunity to get laid off and I volunteered. I had an opportunity to work with 2 gentlemen in Knoxville, Tennessee, and they did real estate full time and they had a nice portfolio. So I volunteered to get laid off and moved to Knoxville, Tennessee to learn from them and to really work in real estate full time and learn more. So I bought my 8-unit and then my former business partner and I decided to do something different. And we bought a 163 lot mobile home community. It was in 2020. We bought our first mobile home community. And he and I scaled that to a portfolio of $120 million and 2,800 units. So it was a pretty aggressive scale up process, which is why I'm a go-getter. In October of last year, I was burnout. So I decided to leave that company and I put everything in storage, sold everything, and set on the road for 7 months traveling abroad and made some amazing connections and really reinvigorated and recharged.
That's an amazing story. So you're on this journey. Just to break it up a little bit, what was your favorite place that you visited on your?
So Namibia, Africa. I didn't even know how to pronounce Namibia when I booked my trip, but it was so incredible. I spent a month there in November of last year. Met so many great people, got to go on safari, got to go sandboarding in the desert, got to be where the ocean meets the desert. It was so cool. Highly recommend it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I had a similar starting journey, a little different. I was active duty military, but I started with 2 fourplexes, and that was my first purchase. I've been listening to Bigger Pockets and all these podcasts, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go as big as I can for the first one. And that was a good choice because I just rolled from multifamily to multifamily, and then I rolled into short-term rentals, and then we found assisted living. Okay, so you have the family connection to assisted living. The Women's Mastermind gave you the idea. You came to the RAL Room. And so how did you go about finding this 32-bed deal? It wasn't where you currently were. Walk me through how you went from I'm going to buy one to this is the one I'm going to move to make it happen.
So my business partner and I, she is from here. So she had looked at it at the beginning of last year and it was under contract. And I was Googling anywhere in the country for an assisted living. And I also saw this one, but again, it was under contract. So it was under contract twice, I think at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, and it fell out twice. And it just so happened that we stumbled upon it again when it was available again. And we got it under contract. We did a tour. My business partner and I, we both like to travel. So I'm in Morocco and she's here doing the physical tour. So I'm on FaceTime doing the tour with her. And it was great. We just decided that this property spoke to us and that we could do really great stuff here. So we got under contract right after that.
It was meant to be in some way, right? And it's an interesting thing. And for the listeners, like, hey, maybe you go through multiple properties to find the right one. Or maybe that first one that was perfect goes under contract and then comes out of contract and goes under contract and you get it, right? My first eightplex, same thing. It was under contract and then it came out of contract. And I was like, I've already been in it. I know that I want it. And so here's the offer. But, you have to kind of fail your way to success because eventually you are going to find the right property or the right land to develop on and build it the way you want.
And I did underwrite a bunch of deals before we found this one that didn't pencil.
Okay. And what makes this one pencil?
The former operators, you only know what you know. So they didn't know some stuff, and not having an operations background, they just weren't able to utilize the space to the best of its ability. So we saw opportunity where they didn't maximize the potential of this property. So they never really stayed full. And with 32 beds and only having 19 occupied, it's hard to really maintain a good income. Yeah. And it just didn't have the reputation that it deserves.
Okay, so it closed. Mm-hmm. Is that right? And so you are starting from zero.
We didn't say it didn't close. It just became vacant.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So somewhat of an opportunity for you and your partner, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So tell us about it's 2 homes. One's memory care, one's assisted living. Can you go into detail about layouts and bedrooms and things like that?
Yeah. So the assisted living, so they're both 16 beds. So total 23 bedrooms. So we have the assisted living, which is 10,000 square feet. It's 13 bedrooms. And it's a 2-bedroom suite model. So it's really different. So when people walk in, they say, this is a different concept. It's really nice, very bright. So you walk into the little kitchenette. And so it's like the suite. That's the kitchenette area. It's got cabinets for if they want to keep stuff in there, a fridge. They share a huge bathroom. And then it's either 2 shared bedrooms or 2 private rooms. So there's plenty of space. You walk into this grand, vast, like great room. You can see from the front door to the back door, all the way through the living space. We have a beauty salon and barbershop. We have a dining room and a fully functioning commercial kitchen. And then the best part is the wraparound porch. So it's 3/4 of the building is the wraparound porch with 2 covered areas. And it's just like super beautiful. We want to incorporate a lot of outdoor activities and natural light into our programming. So it's really great to have that area.
That's awesome.
And then memory care is 10 bedrooms and 7,000 square feet. So we have 6 shared rooms and 4 private rooms here. And I'm in the dining room. This is the memory care house. It's really great and good layouts in both houses.
That's awesome. Okay, so you're closed, you're licensed. Walk us through how you did the financing / did you raise any money, bring in any investors, or is it all just the two of you?
No investors on this one. I come from a syndication background, and having investors is very stressful. So I wanted to do my first deal without investor money. So we opted for SBA. So we could, being that it was vacant, that we can front load some of our operational expenses until we get people. So we opted for the SBA loan. We went with Live Oak Bank, and it was a process, but we got it over the line right before the government closed at the end of September.
Nice. Okay. SBA, of course, that is a process, but for the reasons you already listed, like low money down, it could be worth it. How challenging was it to get that loan with the property vacant at the time?
It was. We had to have a really good business plan and paint the picture of what the vision was for the property and how fast we could get it leased.
Okay. Okay. And does your business partner have a background in care?
Yep. So she has a residential care home for mentally ill men in Oklahoma that she manages. So that helped with the SBA process, having that background.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. You with your real estate background, her with her care background. Yeah, I could see why the SBA would
both
approve that whole thing.
like the nonprofit space too. Like she's really big in the humanitarian world. And at one point in my career, I worked with a residential care home for abandoned and neglected youth in New York City. So that also helped.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so what kind of terms did you get? Did you get 10% down?
We had 15.
15, okay. A little bit more LTV for the bank. Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It was vacant. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's cool to hear that it's all your guys's. So it's your baby. And so you're there right now. Which of the 2 homes are you trying to lease up first? And walk me through why.
Assisted living first.
Okay.
One, because it's the lower priced product, right? And it's the bigger product. It's the one with the wraparound porch. It's the one with the huge great room. So we want to do that one first.
Okay.
And then once we're almost occupied there, we'll open up memory care.
Okay. All right. So tell us what you're working on now to find residents, to place residents in your home.
So we're networking, right? So I use AI a lot. So I have an AI project built out with coming up with just ways to help us increase occupancy. So what we're doing is meeting with tons of placement agents. So we have contracts in place with 6 different placement agents already, and we're trying to meet more. We're going to the doctors, getting in front of them in hospitals, rehab centers. I'm meeting with financial advisors and letting them know that we're available again and we're not that far away, and what changes we've implemented from the former ones that were here.
Okay, cool. And how's that going?
It's going. We just actually right before here, I was meeting with a placement agent and working with her, getting the contract set up to work with them. And we're also getting feedback. So we've been working with placement agents for just a little over a month, and we've had some tours. So what in our presentation is not working? So is it the price? Is it the packages? Doing my secret shopping during this process, it was a lot of level of care. And at the end of it, this is just me personally, I felt that I never knew what my price was. And I never knew 30 days later if, let's say my mom, her healthcare changed, if I would have a different price. So it
Mm.
really sat with me, and I was like, what if we just do a flat fee for level of care, accommodations, meals? There's no extra fee for having to feed somebody. There's no extra fee for a medication package. What if it was just one flat fee? So we're getting a lot of feedback from the placement agents on what they're hearing, if it's working or if it's not working, or if it's too much of a challenge for the flat fee.
Okay, so what have you decided to do for your pricing model? You're going with the flat fee?
We're getting two different feedback.
Okay.
The listing agent right now just says they prefer, and their clientele prefers, the flat fee. And then other placement agents has said that they prefer packages. So I think we're going to try like an A/B test. We're going to go with this placement agent here today with a flat fee package, a flat fee. And then the other ones will do a flat fee and then a package deal and see what kind of feedback we get.
Okay. That's interesting. We'll have to have you back on so we can walk through the pricing models, because that will be very interesting to share, to see how that works and how your A/B test results go.
Yeah.
Are these placement agents, are their typical fee 1 month, or what's that look like?
They're different. So we've heard anywhere between 70% to 100%. And then some just do a flat fee of $2,500 or $3,500.
Okay.
So they all vary, actually.
Interesting. And how are you vetting these placement agents to make sure that they're going to bring you the right residents for your home?
So I and our administrator are meeting with them in person, doing tours, also on Facebook groups. There is a local Facebook group for the communities here, and I look for assisted living mentions, and I see who people recommend. And those are the people I'm reaching out to. All the recommended placement agents in the area is the ones that I want to work with.
That's smart. It's amazing how much you can accomplish through Facebook groups, right? It's wild. When I first got my real estate license, this is when I was leaving the military. I didn't have enough rental properties to cover everything. So I had a real estate license, and I started a local real estate team serving military, because that's what I knew. I started a Facebook community, and that's where all my business came from for the first year and a half. Was there because I was just in there providing value to my community, and people would reach out. So yeah, I love that. Okay. So
Gary V model of jab, jab, right hook.
That's right. It works. Of course it works. I don't know. Are you a fan of The Go-Giver? Have you ever read that?
Yep. Based on your recommendation. Yep.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah. I'd say it like every episode, everyone should read it. But yeah, the more value you give, the more you're going to receive. And and it's obvious that your homes are going to be leased up in no time at all. What placement rate did you give the SBA / what did they underwrite it as?
So we always operate at 90%. And so we said that our break even is around 5 to 6 months, that we will be fully performing before the year.
Sweet. Yeah. And for the listeners, with an SBA loan, you're getting those operational costs rolled into the loan for that whole time, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So like you don't have to, it's really cool, because that is one of the biggest struggles with people starting assisted living is, how am I going to pay for the home and be able to have staff and have this runway until I have enough residents to be net positive?
Yep.
You said 5-6 months. That's $150,000, maybe $200,000. There's some significant expenses in there. Maybe it's more. I don't know what you predicted there, but but to not have to have that on hand, the SBA will actually cover that, and that's part of the loan, which is pretty amazing.
Super helpful for us starting out.
Yeah. So talk to me about staff. You already have staff hired. And so what's your plan there?
So we have 2 full-time team members right now. So it's being that the home was vacant for 7 months. And I'll say I did a lot of the cleaning in the beginning, and I found a Jell-O packet from 2019 that it expired in 2019. So their cleaning practices were not my standard of cleaning practices. So we're going through and deep cleaning everything. Staff right now, they're going through the individual PTAC units. And if you don't know what a PTAC unit is, like in the hotels, it's the air conditioning units in each individual room. So in the assisted living, each individual room has its own PTAC unit. So going into the filters and making sure they're clean, and going back through the cabinets and making sure everything's deep clean. There was so much grease in the kitchen. So really, it's just like it really needed a deep clean. So we're finishing that. We're also making sure we got everything for licensing. So we do have a license, but we haven't been inspected yet. So we're making sure all of our I's are dotted, T's are crossed in terms of getting all the paperwork done for that, creating SOPs. We just got our med carts the other day, making sure the med room has everything it needs.
Running a residential memory care home is not just a calling, it's a maze of licensure, paperwork, zoning regulations, and day to day challenges that can feel overwhelming. That's why so many successful operators partner with Legato Living franchise. Legato Living does more than just help you open a home. They help you open it the right way so you can stay focused on what matters, providing exceptional care to those living with dementia. And once your doors are open, it can get lonely at the top. As a Legato Living franchisee, you are never on your own. Legato Living offers ongoing operational support from staff training and owner conferences to systems, cultures, and quality assurance because a home is only as good as its operator, and great operators deserve a great partner. If you're ready to open a residential memory care home that truly makes a difference, visit Legato Living and start with confidence today.
Meeting with nurses, meeting with doctors. So it's a lot to get it up and running from being a vacant facility.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like a lot. What's been one of the biggest challenges you've had so far?
Honestly, finding a maintenance staff member.
Oh, interesting.
So I've been hanging blinds, I've been painting, because it was a challenge of finding a dependable maintenance person, because I didn't want to bring on somebody full time. I just
Right.
need somebody in the beginning to help out part time, to paint, to hang blinds, to put my vision together for what the barbershop and beauty salon is going to look like. So we did a lot of the stuff ourselves in the beginning, which took me away from actually building the business. So we just brought a part-time, a really good guy on the team now. So he's painting, he's doing flooring. So we're really getting going now.
Rocking and rolling. It is when you find the right maintenance guy. This is when I was in short-term rentals, none of them were local to me. Zero. And everyone's like, how do you manage? Because I was self-managing from afar, 7 or 8 short-term rentals. And how do you do that? I'm like, all you need is the best cleaner in the world and the best handyman in the world. That's it. That's all it takes. And so it's surprising just how much of a difference having the right handyman.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm sure in your past with real estate, you've learned how to hang blinds, so you can do all the nitty gritty.
I put together many a short-term rental myself. So
Yeah.
I understand what it takes to decorate.
Yeah. Me too. I'm glad to be putting most of those days behind me. I have one short-term rental left that I'd like to offboard, and then I could be full in on RALs. So let's hope that the market picks up, the short-term rental market picks up, because man, it's hard to sell that one.
Absolutely.
You still own short-term rentals as well?
With my previous portfolio, we have 85.
How many?
85, but they're all attached to the campgrounds.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. 85. All right. I feel like the newbie in this conversation. So why don't you take over the podcast for the rest of the episode, if you would? And Jen, you're crushing it. I can't wait to have you back on the podcast once things are firing on all cylinders and we hear all the additional lessons learned. But so far, what's the biggest lesson you've learned from your experience purchasing assisted living homes and getting into this industry?
Actually, in general, from my previous business and now, you have to work on the business. If you are constantly in the business, hanging the blinds, you can't really optimize the business, right? Automations, like I have this whole go high level sequence to automate all my leads, right? So anytime a lead comes into our funnel, there's a triggers email and text message sequence. And all the automations I want to do, I don't know if the industry is ready for it yet, but like building these systems, it's just going to help you stay out of working in the business and you work on it.
I love that. Yeah. Automate, delegate, and what's the third one? Elevate, maybe? Take yourself out of it.
Since the team has come on board, I have not picked up anything to clean anything, and it's been really hard, but business.
That's what they're getting paid to do right now. And you're working on the business. You're the CEO, right? You're in charge. And you're truly right about that, because we have seen people, and I think a lot of the homes that are struggling right now, the operator never actually puts himself into the CEO role. They continue to provide care and do the cleaning and manage the business from within instead of taking a step back and trying to scale it from there.
Yeah, the strategy conversations are so important. Being on the same page, if you have a business partner, that you are constantly talking about strategy, and pivoting. Okay, so this isn't working. We learned that maybe our packages or our flat fee model wasn't working. So we pivoted. It's just important to test the pivot.
And what I'm hearing you say are CEO type activities. You're talking about, we are doing we are solely focused on marketing right now and finding residents. And that it's so crazy how many people get into this and aren't doing that piece. Like, they get the home, they open the home, and
I'm very guilty of it. I did it myself in my previous business, but I've learned.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's easy for us to say now, right? Or outside looking in, but it's so important. And marketing can't be understated in this business. It's something that's quite different from the traditional rental market. Okay, you throw it up on Zillow, you find a tenant, boom, you're done. Throw it up on Airbnb, find a guest, boom, you're done. But there's not really a marketplace for this. So people have to know you exist. You have to go out there and generate your own leads. And I know it sounds sus. Look at me using sus in a podcast. It sounds sus to be like, seniors calling them leads. That's gross. No, you have to have a business. And the only way to support those seniors is to have enough of them to have a cash flowing business that you could then provide the level of care that you want to provide.
The one thing also I'll talk about is brand. I've created in AI, I've created a project about our brand guardian. So any marketing website thing we put out gets run through our brand guardian, because we want to promote the right tone that we want to have, where we want to come from. We want to come from an educational standpoint. So I have all this built out in the custom instructions for my brand guardian, because we want every piece of collateral that comes out to have the same brand voice. So I've worked really, really hard on perfecting that to match our brand that we want to portray.
Okay. At some point, you and I just need to talk ChatGPT and automations and high level and stuff, because I want to know what you're doing that I'm not, and maybe I can help you too. But
that's what I found in the RAL Room. I put that virtual tour I did for free with AI. I don't know how to video edit. I don't know anything like that. I just plugged it in AI.
Yeah.
Had it do a 3-minute virtual tour for me, and it took me an hour to put that together.
That's wild. And I had that up. It was called...
It's called Play Play.
Play. All right. For the listeners, create a virtual tour video for free. There you go.
7-day trial for free.
What's that?
It's only for 7 days you get for free, but I was able to do it in an hour. So I did it.
Hey, yeah. Us entrepreneurs are all the same. No, I love that I use, of course, ChatGPT religiously, and we have the one that we built for the RAL Room, but it hadn't occurred to me to make a brand guardian that to make sure every product that gets out there aligns with your brand and your messaging and your culture.
I've invested a ton into learning AI, and I'm a part of this mastermind that is specifically for AI members, people that want to next level their AI. I've also built from this mastermind, I've built a call auditor to audit my calls to make sure I'm compliant and to make sure that and I have it built out to give me feedback, what you did right, what you did wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, that is sick. That is sick. Okay. So Jen, when are you teaching the AI class for?
I can teach an AI class for the RAL Room. Absolutely.
We would love that. We would love that. That's awesome. And you gave a tour to RAL Room members recently. How'd that go?
We had 3 RAL Room members come through, and it was great to finally meet them in person. I've been meaning to meet up with 2 of them, and I had a call with one, and she's great. And she brought us a plant, and it was super nice.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love it. And we have so many members in Houston that we're trying to debate if that's where we want our next event, because there's so many folks. And
Texas is big. It takes 30 minutes to get anywhere. So it'd take both of them an hour to get here.
I know. I was a Texas resident for a long time. My parents were in Fort Worth, but I love the great state of Texas. Yeah. Hopefully you do too. You moved all the way there just to open this.
An hour drive from North Carolina. So it was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Gosh, your story is amazing. Just, I'm burnt out. I'm going to go on travel the world, and then I'm going to buy a 32 bed and move to Houston and open it. And here you are.
I'm living on site right now, and it's been great.
And it's been like a year from idea to here we are.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
December of last year, so we're pretty much in the same spot.
Wow.
Just with a different mindset. Even last year, December, I was still the operator who was too involved in stuff. So I had to really retrain my mindset to now be the person who works on the business and not in the business.
Yeah, it's so important. I've got my buy back your time right here on my desk because I keep not implementing some stuff. So it's sitting right in front of me going, hey, idiot, you need to actually let the VA manage your inbox, which I still haven't let go of.
That one's hard, but you just
that's a tough one. Mm-hmm. She's doing She's doing the calendar now. She texts me every morning about my day. I'm just like, whoa, that's cool. This started yesterday. But yeah, for the people who are listening and thinking about this, you have any recommendations on a good read or a good podcast or just some life advice for how you go from being in the business to working on the business?
So the best thing that I implemented was like my morning routine. And a lot of people do their morning routines to check a box, but it's actually like really being in your morning routine, like not checking your phone. And obviously people have kids and spouses, it's harder, but I write 3 gratitudes every morning and 3 acknowledgments every morning. So today I acknowledge myself, and that came from my life coach. And that has been a game changer for my mindset. And I also just picked up the Daily Stoic. So I read the Daily Stoic passage and really absorb it. And that has been a game changer for me, and just like setting my mind right for the start of the day, like not getting in front of my computer first thing, because that's what I used to do.
Gosh, Jen, you're like, I feel personally attacked because I did this program for like men entrepreneurs and stuff. And it was really focused on that kind of stuff. Hey, you need to, don't look at your phone. Don't look at the text. Don't start doing work as soon as you get up. Go walk outside, go listen to something that's not work related. Like I would just listen to this funny podcast.
Good book. And like 5 Resets.
What is it?
It's called the 5 Resets.
Ooh, okay.
All about how to handle stress in your daily life and implementing 2 things at a time. Don't implement more than 2. And then she has recommendations. So one thing I've implemented is a 20-minute meditation walk. So no phone, no electronics, no earpods, nothing. So just walk and observe and listen. It's really good.
I love that. I'm not going to go to the point that my brother-in-law does and run marathons without headphones. No. But yeah, I do love that too. Just being with your thoughts. And sometimes I do that at the gym. Like he's not listening to music at the gym. I was like, I'm thinking while I'm with it. Sometimes that's okay too.
And making time for strategy. You are running a business. Like it requires you to be in thought, not doing, just thinking. A lot of people just do. I'm a scooter, so it's really hard.
We don't like to just do. We do. I'm trying to think. There's this book. What is it? It'll come to me. But the premise, there's a way you can take all the tasks you're doing for the entire week, write it all down, and figure out which of these 4 quadrants it goes into. Yeah. Oh, free to focus. There we go. So for the listeners, this is a good one. This is a really good way to figure out how to start. I don't know what's going on with my camera. How to start getting out of the business and working on the business, because it's so important that you take a step back and do the strategy piece like you're talking about. Because if you're just working in the business to save $1, you're stepping over, or whatever that phrase is, stepping over dollars to pick up pennies, right? If you are spending your time on the things that don't light you up, that you're not passionate about, that aren't the drivers of revenue in your business, then your business will most likely fail, right? Or you'll just be in this continuous rut where it's like a continuous grind to try and get things done. Where if you outsource those things you hate doing to somebody that you could pay $5 an hour to do, or maybe $15 an hour, whatever it may be, now you can spend your time on those $100 an hour tasks and being in your zone of genius, your business will grow way faster. But a lot of times as entrepreneurs, especially when we're bootstrapping our way through things, we have this tendency to hold on to everything because it's, I can't spend money on that, can't spend money on that. No, you really can. And actually you really should for your business to succeed.
Go high level. I have no idea how to do anything in Go High Level. If I would have sat there trying to create the automations myself, it probably would have taken me 2 months. No, I'd spend $100, hire somebody on Upwork to do it for me, and it's done. And I can focus on
100%.
something else that is my zone of genius.
Yes, that's a perfect example. In Freedom Focus, you have the Freedom Compass. It's got those 4 quadrants, right? And so it's things that you're passionate about and you're proficient at. That's your zone of genius. Those are the things you should be working on. There's the things that you suck at, but you like. That's your kind of learning zone. You can maybe work on that if you have the time, and it can become something you're good at. There's the things that you hate doing, but you're really good at. And then there's the things that you suck at and you hate doing. If you're doing any of those things, you're wrong. But how many of us do those on a daily basis?
In my last company, I really had to look at everything I do on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, because I was doing those $5 an hour jobs. And I'm like, that's sucking so much time, and how much time it takes. And I was getting interrupted every day. So my next plan is to make Jen's brain in AI. So I'm going to have to review me, and I answer all the questions. So my team is going to go to the GPT instead of me first.
Let's go. Are you going to get a little chip implanted too, so it can download?
Not yet.
Yeah. That's next. One, just a thought on AI. For the listeners out there, if you're trying to run a business and you're not using AI yet, you're wrong. Okay? Because your competition will be, and you will get left behind. You got to learn it. It doesn't have to be complicated. It could just be some chat GPT, but you got to just lean into it and embrace it because it's here to stay.
Yep. And VAs. If you're not using VAs in your business, you're missing things too, because they have a really great skill set and they have really good work ethic.
Yes, 100% agree. We have 2 just for the RAL Room, and one, she's worked for me. I stole her from Airbnb, and she helped me manage my short-term rentals. I just want to tell this story real quick. She had started working for me part-time to manage my short-term rentals, and it'd been like maybe 2-3 months, and then all of a sudden I didn't hear from her for a couple of weeks, and I was like, uh-oh, what happened? Was it something I said? Turns out there was a massive storm, and they basically had to leave their home, and she found another place, finally had internet again. And she sent me this message. She's like, hey, I'm so sorry. And she worked for another short-term rental company at the time. She said, hey, I asked that company if they would advance me $300 so that I can take care of my family, do some other stuff, and I'll work the time off. They said, no. Would you be willing to do it? I was thinking about it. I was like, is this a scam? What is happening here? And I was like, shit, I've spent $300 on way stupider stuff than this. Like, what? Sure, here's $300. She worked it off and came to work for me full time, and we've
right there.
Yeah, we're like family friends. We update each other on family stuff, and she sent me a nice message on Thanksgiving to be like, I'm so thankful that we met, and I'm able to send my kids to the schools I want because of this. And yeah, sorry, what?
$300 to them means a lot.
Yeah, it is. And anyway, and she's one of the most capable women I've ever met. She's incredible.
And I'm sure that bred loyalty.
Yes. Yeah. And that is something about, especially Philippine VAs. I just think they're incredible. Yeah.
My whole short-term rental portfolio was run out of the Philippines.
Yeah.
And they're great.
Yeah. They're capable of doing things you'd be shocked at. And they're English-speaking country, right? So that's helpful. Anyway, yeah. If you don't have a VA, you're not automating, you're not using AI. What else, Jen? What other bases do we need to cover for the listeners while we're here?
Don't listen. If you're not soliciting feedback. So in my previous portfolio, we would do an annual survey to team members and to our guests and residents and getting their feedback and thanking them. Like I would put a post up on social media thanking them for choosing us because they don't have to. It's the choice. So I want to acknowledge them for choosing us. And then 2, soliciting their feedback and then implementing their feedback. What's working, what's not working. And love my tagline is you spoke, we listened. Like you spoke about this feedback. We listened to you. We implemented it.
I love that. You're so right. Otherwise you're stuck in your own little echo chamber thinking you're right when really you're not. Like one example, for the RAL Room, we just had that event, and so we took some time sitting down with the members who were there and said, all right, my question for them was, what sucks about the RAL Room? I got the best feedback. They were like, hey, pods are a challenge. Accountability pods are a challenge, just attendance and things like that. But it hadn't occurred to us that not everyone needed to be in one. and that not everyone wanted to be in one. We're like, oh, okay. So we just have pods for the people that actually want to be in them. Huh. That didn't occur to us. We're like, everyone must be in a pod. No, people's lives are in different, I'm in a mastermind and I'm no longer in a pod. That's what the RAL Room was based off of. But so that was just one example of, ask for feedback, implement it, and people will be happier. Like the mastermind's for the community, not for me.
Absolutely.
Okay. Man, this is good. We went off on all sorts of good tangents. Hopefully the listeners are still with us. Jen, the silver tsunami is upon us. The boomers are starting to age into assisted living, especially on the memory care side. How do you see the industry evolving over the next 5 to 10 years?
Like I said, if you're not using AI and you're not using automations and you're not speaking to your ICP, right, your ideal client persona, you're going to get lost. So you're going to have to adapt to the boomers might not be on Facebook, but their family members are. And other family members are on TikTok. If you are not embracing social and you're not embracing like TikTok, you could be left behind and missing a lot of being able to educate and communicate with your ICP.
That's a great point that we didn't touch on, that I just want to double tap, that your consumer, your lead is not necessarily the senior, right? They're probably not looking up assisted living homes. They probably don't want to be. It's the families. So you do need to be focused on that.
And if you don't know who your ideal client persona, definitely spend time on what age groups they are, how old are they, where do they live, and cater to that clientele.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Jen, second to last question here. For anyone listening who's on the fence about getting started in assisted living, whether they have a care background, whether they have an investor background, what would you say to them?
Really spend time getting educated. I wanted to be comfortable. This is not a little money. This is not a small investment, right? Getting educated, joining a group like this so you feel comfortable and have somebody to bounce ideas off of. I'm constantly like looking at the community for anything I don't know. And I'm obviously sharing anything like play that I discover with the community. Like I found a VA on Upwork to do my evacuation diagrams, and I shared who that was in the community. So really join a community and to bounce ideas off of and to learn from to set you up for success.
I love that. And you were not afraid to join the RAL Room because you were already a benefactor of a mastermind and understood the value. And that could be a tough thing if it's your first one. Same here. Like I was in a mastermind before that, and I masterminded and I was like, I love this. This is my thing. Seriously, these are my people now, especially leaving the military. Where's my community? My community are entrepreneurs.
And I'm sure a lot of your friend group that you grew up with in high school or college may not be on the same trajectory you are, so they can't relate. I was in that point where there was people that couldn't relate to my everyday struggles. So my women's mastermind can relate to what I'm going through on a day-to-day basis.
Is that an entrepreneur women's mastermind?
Yeah. It's mostly real estate focused.
Okay.
But a lot of people, we have a lady who does manufacturing. We have a lady who does restaurants. So anything entrepreneurship.
One of my best friends used to run a mastermind just like that. I don't know if Rachel Richards, Money Honey Rachel.
Oh, no, I don't know her.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, masterminds are the place to be. And you are the 6 people you surround yourself with, blah, blah, blah. Like over time, if you have that growth mindset and you just have that itch to build things, you're going to leave a lot of people behind. And that's okay, because you're going to find new people and they're going to continue to help you grow and lift you up, which is the best, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all your best friends are probably entrepreneurs, as they are mine. Okay, Jen, this has been awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing your incredible experience and how much of a fast mover you are. Just super proud of everything you've done. You're just crushing it. Just a great example for everyone out there who wants to get into assisted living. You're doing it the right way. And if folks want to learn more from you or about Ambria, what's the best way to get in touch?
Yep. So Ambria has their own Facebook page. So you could see my brand guardian, how it comes up. We're on Instagram, and I'm going to be creating a TikTok. So it's Ambria Assisted Living. And then I personally do business tips of the week of all the challenges I faced in business. Nice. My Instagram is @TheRealJenU, which is a joke. I never changed it.
Love it. Cool. We'll have all that in the show notes for the listeners. And Jen, Thanks for coming on today. This was awesome.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you for tuning in to the RAL Room Assisted Living Podcast. We hope you found today's episode insightful. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave us a raving 5-star review. And a quick review helps more listeners find the show and more seniors get the exceptional care they deserve.
And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And just so you know, we have prepared some free resources for you to help you succeed in residential assisted living in addition to this podcast. Head over to theralroom.com, that is the RAL Room.com, to download our free 10-step guide to launch your first or next residential assisted living home, or our 10 reasons to passively invest in residential assisted living ebooks.
And if you're ready to take the next step and make real moves in the RAL industry, join us in the RAL Room Mastermind. It is an exclusive community where we deep dive into everything you need to launch and grow your own residential assisted living business. You'll get access to recorded courses, live calls with industry experts, a RAL calculator, resources and tools, like-minded entrepreneurs, funding opportunities, and an expert networking community to help you along your journey.
Be sure to join us next time on the RAL Room Podcast as we continue to explore the world of residential assisted living with more great guests. See you then.